And welcome to this routine, this practice focused on relieving some back pain. I'm going to begin in a child's pose. For me, this feels okay when my back is sore or tight. But if it's not working for you, find a different shape, laying on your back, or maybe a child's pose supported with some pillows, or even something seated, just where you can be still for a few moments and find your breath. See if we can slow the inhale, taking it in a little bit deeper. Slow the exhale. Take a little bit longer. And perhaps imagine breathing into the area where you're feeling discomfort, where you're feeling pain. Imagine breathing around that area to just acknowledge the sensation there, the feeling. Lengthening through the spine wherever you are. Inhale, lengthening, making it longer. Exhale, just letting something go. A little tension in the jaw or the forehead, release. As we begin the practice, we may just want to cultivate a little awareness into the things that affect our back. Tension, emotions, how we sit, how we sleep. Slowly start to make your way to a tabletop shape. And here, I just would like to invite you to try some organic movements. I'm just rolling the shoulders round in a circle with my breath. Inhaling in one direction, exhaling in another. There is cat-cow that you can do here where we inhale, lift the heart, and exhale, round and tuck the spine. Anytime you want to settle back into your child's pose, then go for it. You're finding a little bit of movement that works for you. With our next inhale, let's see if we can roll from our child's pose into an upward facing dog. If this is too much on your back, then keep the elbows bent. And as you exhale, just take the hips down and back. Feel that spine lengthen and round out in your child's pose. Next inhale again, see if we can roll it forward. And totally okay to keep those elbows bent, so a little bit less or bend through the spine. Maybe at the top we just roll the neck. Use an exhale to travel down and back. I'm going to find one more time in your own pace with your own breath, slowly rolling forward as you inhale. Maybe there's a little bit more lift here. Maybe the neck rolls a little bit. And as you exhale, sink down and back. Begin to reach the right hand behind the body, and as you inhale, let's lift up onto the knees. Maybe the left arm can reach up overhead. And as you exhale, taking it down and back. Now, I reach for my heel, but if it works for you just to reach around your low back, then go for it. Let's try the other side. Left hand, reach around. Inhale, right arm reaching up. So we're just going to open and close through the little vertebrae, through the muscles of the spine. Just create a little movement here. Nothing that feels like it's making the pain worse, but a little bit of discomfort is okay. Let's try again. Inhale on the right side, reaching back with the right hand. And exhale, rolling it forward. Don't worry if you don't reach as much or back bend as much. We just want to get those tight muscles moving. Left side as we inhale, reaching up, maybe standing on the knees, and exhale, taking it down into that child's pose. Return to your breath here. Just noticing sensation. If you feel like you want a little bit of a different shape, maybe even seated on the heels, or remaining in your child's pose. And after that bit of movement, it's a nice time just to tune into what we noticed. One of the difficulties with back pain, with any kind of pain really, is when it starts to get bad, we're in a hurry for it to get better. And that totally makes sense. But that pressure can make us do too much. And then likewise, our discouragement about being in pain can make us do too little. And in a practice like this, we just want to harmonize with our body. And your back is communicating with you right now. It needs a little something. And let's just begin to use the breath and this time on your mat to notice how the body responds, what works, what doesn't, with kindness and compassion. And whenever that's challenging and difficult, then this is right where we come back to the breath. Just slow the breath down. The next inhale, a little bit slower. Next exhale, a little bit longer. Just acknowledging where you're at. And acknowledging as well that moment by moment, everything changes. Everything shifts. Begin to make a slow transition once again to our tabletop shape. Hands under shoulders, knees under hips. And use an inhale to extend that right leg out long behind you. Maybe even lift a little bit. And as you exhale, cross the right leg over towards the left side. And here again, just some circles. Imagine just moving through tight muscles. And then eventually that right leg will bend behind the left, and we'll see if we can walk the hands back, and back till we can sort of sit in this little cross-legged shoelace. Now this can be a challenging shape. I'm going to take a little fold here. If the fold is not working for you, just stay seated. And the legs might be in a different looking configuration. That's okay, so long as we're feeling the sensation of a sort of stretch through the hips, through the low back, maybe some compression through the knees. And then slow the breath here. For me, oftentimes my back pain seems to be affected by a sort of imbalance between right and left hip that affects the muscles and the tendons. And so a shape like this is just encouraging those unequally balanced hips to sort of stretch out in one direction on one hip and a different direction on the other hip. See what you can do to settle the mind. Relax the face as you breathe into the intense sensation that is there. If ever becomes too painful, just take a little step back from it, ease out a little bit. Transition very slow as you rise up. Maybe take a little pause here just to notice what you feel. Before we slowly crawl the hands forward, extend that right leg out again. Just explore what it's like to lift it before we settle that knee back down. Move it around a little bit if it feels good. Before we go into the left side, inhale, that leg reaches out. And exhale, make that cross towards the right side, and then maybe some little circles through the hip, through the shoulders before we make that crisscross. It's like your legs are crossed and you're going to try to sit in between those heels. And that's why I always have a pillow or something nearby, because if you need to, you can sit on top of that. And just be okay if the shape looks very different. If the fold is not happening, totally fine. If the fold's there, also great. We're just going to where you feel sensation, some stretch, some compression, maybe some discomfort even. And then to return to the breath. It's very difficult to observe in stillness. So as the thoughts and sensations come up, just acknowledge the challenge that we have in being observant, aware, still. And know that every inhale is another opportunity to come back to that state of awareness, of stillness, of observation. Your transition, again, very slow. Maybe pausing anywhere as you rise up. Gently making your way back to that tabletop, extending that left leg, maybe moving it around a little bit if that feels good. And settling into seated, maybe child's pose. Just to find that breath again. Maybe notice any change in sensation in the back, any other messages your body is sending you while you're stretching, moving. We're going to slowly come to seated with our knees bent and our feet planted. You can place the hands behind you and take a little lean back. Inhale, lifting up through the heart. And then exhale, rounding through the spine, tuck the chin in. You could also do this with your hands wrapped around your knees or your thighs, if that allows. But take a couple rounds of inhaling, lifting up, and exhaling, rounding that spine. Eventually settle the hands behind you and take the feet out a little bit wider, about as wide as your mat, maybe a little wider than the hips. And let's take a windshield wiper side to side. Eventually, we're going to let those knees drop over to the right side and twist around to face behind you. So walking around with the hands towards the back. So we find this twist. And the right leg is kind of at 90-degree angle, the right foot somewhere close to the left knee, the left thigh. And you may just stay on your hands here and twist, or you might be able to come down to your elbows, your forearms, maybe even all the way down to your chest. This is where a pillow, a blanket, rolled up towel might feel really nice underneath the body to support you. Or if you need a little bit of height, you could even put it under the hands or underneath the elbows. So here in this twist, you may be feeling the muscles across the low back. Maybe even starting to become aware of the relationship between the muscles that reach from the shoulders or even from the opposite shoulder all the way down to the opposite side of the back, sort of crisscrossing across the back, and how those relate to tightness in the hips. Maybe also begin to be aware of the tension in fingers and toes as you try and breathe here. And yes, there will be some stretching through the muscles, but once you find that sensation of stretch, just settle in, settle down in, settle into your breath, and just let time and gravity do its work. I always like to be very slow when I come out of this, because sometimes that twist through the back just needs a little time to settle before we move. So start to untwist slowly. And find that feet down, knees up position again. If you'd like a few cat-cows seated here, go for it. Do it with your breath. And then again, feet wide. And the knees will start to drift over to the left side. Walk the hands around back behind us, the right hand reaching round and back. And staying on the hands, dropping down to elbows, finding some kind of cushion or prop to help you. And just notice how one side will feel very different than the other. Sometimes as the back pain seems concentrated on one side of the body, then in this kind of shape, in this deer pose, we start to become really aware of where we're constricted, what muscles might be involved. We might even have some awareness of habitual movement patterns or postures that we get into that are perhaps contributing to it. And just use this time as deep reflection. Allowing yourself to find some stillness. Once again, as we rise, the transition, make it super duper slow. Unwinding very, very carefully. Letting the hands support your body as you rest in those arms. Maybe be still, or maybe find those cat-cows. You may wish to turn to the wide side of your mat. I have a pillow close by because it will be a good help here. I'm going to take the heels out as wide as they can go. I also have my little yoga block here, but you don't need it. I'm just going to create a little bit of height for myself. You could stack up a couple pillows if you wish. And once you get to this wide leg position, take a few rolls through those hips. Just kind of explore hands in front of the body, hands behind the body, how I can create a little bit of space in my low back. I'll be walking the hands around, opening through the front of the body. And eventually, we're going to start to caterpillar those hands forward and let the head hang. Now, it doesn't matter how far you get into the stretch, that it may just be reaching the hands a little bit forward and then trying to rest there. But wherever you go, relax those shoulders. And this is where a stack of pillows or blankets or something in front of you could help. Because if we can rest our head or forehead or some part of our body on a support, and then we can really Just let go of that tension through the neck and the shoulders and allow the sensation, the stretch to be concentrated through the hips, the low back, the backs of the thighs. When we're in pain in our back, we'll start to notice in a shape like this how much we're compensating with other parts of our body. How maybe our face has been tight, or hamstrings are extra tight, have been working really hard, or even just how much tension there is in our forehead as we're worried about the feeling that we're having. Make those breaths slow and intentional. Maybe in your last little bit here, we find just any other tiny places you could melt. Let go of tension through one fingertip or through one little muscle in your ear. And again, slow transition, very important. Just walk the hands back super slow. Rest for a moment as you lift that head up, and then ease those legs back towards the mat. And find a way to come and rest onto your back. Sometimes it feels really good here to hug the knees in. If you want to do that, go for it. And then I'm going to take the right leg and invite you to put the right foot on top of that left thigh. Kind of make a little figure 4 here. And we're going to use this as a twist. So you take an inhale and then let the right foot drift over towards the left side. If you have space, stretch those arms out like a T and turn your chin away from the legs. Turn your chin towards the right. Same here as at the start. The focus is the inhale, the exhale, keeping it slow. Full breath. Use an inhale to slowly bring the legs to center. And maybe here a little twist to the other side. Taking the right knee down towards the right. And turn the chin in the other direction. Slowly we'll bring the legs to center. Let that right foot touch down. And the left ankle, left foot will go on top of the right thigh. We'll slowly take that left foot over to the right, And the chin turns and looks to the left. Keeping that breath slow, deep into the belly. And use an inhale to come to center. And then exhale, taking that left knee towards the left side, little twist in the other direction. Turning the chin to the right. Inhaling, the legs come to center. That left foot can release onto the ground. And now both feet can extend to the corners of your mat. So we rest. And if your back is very tight, sometimes the legs do not feel good to be straightened out. So you can always feel free to keep the feet planted, the knees bent, and even bringing the knees together to kind of rest against one another. Just some kind of shape here where you can be very still and let the effects of the practice just sort of settle. As you take your last few breaths here, maybe using them to settle that awareness into your heart, what you learned about your body. Slowly find some way up to seated, maybe finding your side first. May you be happy. May you be healed. May you be free from pain and suffering.